In this video, we are going to look at various GPA and MCAT score combinations and the general percentage of students that are accepted into medical school based on these numbers. Hey everyone, if you're new here, my name is Adam Nessum and I'm the founder of the Premed Consultants, a pre-med coaching program that helps students every step of the way until they get into medical school. Now today we're going to be talking about various specific examples of GPA and MCAT score combinations and the percentage of students that get accepted based on these scores. The AAMC has a resource that summarizes the acceptance rates of students to applying to American MD programs in an organized chart so that you can compare various GPA and MCAT score combinations from previous years. Now a quick disclaimer before we get into these numbers. There are many other variables that go into whether or not someone gets accepted into medical school. And just because you have great scores, it doesn't mean you're going to be accepted. And just because your scores are not necessarily the best and maybe below average, it also doesn't mean you're definitely going to be rejected. Having worked with hundreds of students, I see just about any combination that you can imagine. What seem like stellar students just on scores alone sometimes don't get into medical school. And also students who have started working with our Premed Consultants program, who started with less than a 3.0 GPA, we have seen them ultimately get accepted into medical school. And there are many factors at play here. It could be certain factors such as what they write in the personal statement, what your overall experiences are, even which schools you apply to and how many schools you apply to. Now the chart that we will be going over is table A23, which is an MCAT and GPA grid for applicants and acceptees to US MD granting medical schools in the 2019 to 2020 through the 2021 to 2022 application cycle. And I'll link this source below. Now getting into the data. Over the last 3 admission cycles, the overall acceptance rate to medical school was about 40.8%. However, if you have a GPA between a 3.6 and a 3.79 and scored between a 506 and a 509 MCAT, which you can see on the table here, you would have an approximately 42% chance of being accepted based on these scores alone. Now, with the same GPA of a 3.6 to 3.79, if you were to get even a slightly lower score on the MCAT, let's say a 502 to 505, you would have approximately a 30% chance of acceptance to medical school. On the other hand, if you scored higher, let's say for example a 510 to 513, with that same GPA of a 3.6 to 3.79, now you would have a 58% chance of acceptance based on the scores alone. But as I've mentioned in previous videos, there are a lot of factors that go into being selected as a medical student and getting accepted into medical school. Scores are just one part of the equation. Medical schools are looking for unique individuals who can contribute to their overall class and who they think will overall make great, compassionate physicians. So please do not take this video as scores are everything, but it is helpful to know that yes, scores do matter, and the better you perform, the better your objective chances of getting accepted to medical school are. For example, for the 10,473 students over those last 3 admission cycles who had a GPA greater than 3.79 and an MCAT score of greater than 517, 8,819 of them were accepted to medical school. That means that 84.2% of them got in, which is more than double the national average. But it also means that 15.8% of those students did not get in, even with such stellar scores. So as you can see, it takes a combination of a strong GPA and MCAT score to better your chances of getting accepted to medical school, but there are a lot more factors that go into the decision-making process. So if you don't have a high GPA, don't give up on your dreams of becoming a doctor. Even those with a 2.6 to 2.79 GPA were found to have an 8.1% acceptance rate. With those chances going up, the higher their MCAT score was. Now this data also does not show what the overall trend of these students' GPAs were. My speculation is that for those specific students that were getting accepted with lower GPAs, they also had an upward trend, and that towards the end of their pre-med career, they showed that they can perform well academically. So hopefully that this video has shown you that while both GPA and MCAT scores can be important to increasing the odds of getting accepted to medical school, there is also always the opportunity to improve your grades, but the change has to start now, and it has to start with you. Maybe you are not focused when you're studying, or maybe you're self-sabotaging because you don't really know if this is what you want to do or if you can do it. Or maybe you just truly do not know how to properly study and perform well in hard pre-med prereqs, because this is not something that is commonly taught to students, how to actually effectively study and do well. At the Premed Consultants, we focus on teaching you evidence-based study strategies to help you achieve maximum results. So if you are thinking of going to medical school and need help on your pre-med journey, you can schedule a call with me or my team, and we'll see how we can best help you get into medical school. There'll be a link below this video so that you can schedule that call. We have an awesome community inside our coaching program and would love to see you become our next success story. Also, if you are getting any value from these videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and comment below any pre-med questions that you would like me to answer. All right, that's all for now. I will see you in the next video.